Reverend Father Godswill joins us via Skype and will be talking to us about the fight against corruption and preparing the future leaders. Glad to have you join us on Business Express.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to join.
Reverend, you are a champion of fighting corruption, and the current administration is also fighting corruption. Why would you say it's important to take it to the Nigerian youth?
Thank you. First of all, to really understand why it is important to take corruption to the Nigerian youth, we must first of all understand what corruption is. Corruption is much more than many people think that it is. We have mega and petty corruption. Mega corruption is the kind of corruption that EFCC is tackling. People, politicians, and government officials stealing from Abuja or from any of our state houses. Petty corruption has to do with small corruption, incidences of corruption across the country, whether it is sorting in the university, or whether it is the police officer taking bribe from you, or whether it is a secretary at the office having to collect some money from you before your document or your papers can be given to you. When you look at corruption from this perspective, you can see that corruption is cultural in Nigeria. It's endemic, and it has become a way of life. And so young people are born into this culture, and they do not see anything wrong about it. Therefore, we need to start nipping corruption in the bud in Nigeria to enable us win the war against corruption.
Reverend,
the top-down approach is working, but we need to do more about the bottom-up approach.
Okay, Reverend Father, what do you think then is lacking in trying to bring up Nigerian youths in leadership position if we are fighting corruption? What should we do to put these things back in place?
In the first place, we need to make youth understand that the future of our country belongs to them. We need to educate youth on the need for ethical leadership. We need to make youth understand that corruption is the enemy of shared prosperity. And if we do not kill corruption, corruption will definitely kill all of us. Youth must be educated. Youth must be discouraged. They must be made to hate corruption. The other day, last 2 weeks, I was at the ICPC office in Abuja, and we had a good conversation with the education unit of the Independent Corrupt Practices in Nigeria.
Okay.
And we all agree that the fight against corruption must be extended to the youth. But the question is, how? How can we effectively turn the tide around? And there are several ways that we are working with young people in Nigeria to set up alternative moral standards for them and to make them understand that corruption is not good for anybody. Education is very important. Positive reinforcement is very important. Okay. Discouraging bad behavior, praising excellence, and shaming bad behavior is important. Okay. Young people feel very angry when those who are involved in corruption are rewarded. When a student who does not read in school gets an A, the other student feels very bad. Okay. And he does not see the need to bend down and read. So these are the things that we need to do. And once they get it right, then they will be prepared to get into government. And when they get into the government, they will be able to do the right thing for our country and for everybody.
Reverend Father Godswill, thank you very much for joining us on Business Express today.
Thank you very much.